Hi everyone, and welcome to And Sew On. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to show you how to line a knit or crochet bag like this. Okay, so you might remember that I was working on this bag from Rowan. I'll link below the pattern. And I made it from like some very inexpensive yarn that I bought at a local merceria. And I'm absolutely in love with how it turned out. I got these really cute handles. I absolutely love it. However, once I put anything in it, it just completely sagged down. And so I was like, okay, I have to make sure that I put a lining. And so I thought you guys might like to see how to add a lining to a knitted or crochet bag. So I'm going to show you how I made the pattern. I'm going to show you what fabrics I used for the inside and all that. And then I'm going to show you how to attach the lining to the bag itself so that you can have a nice, beautiful finished edge like this and certainly increase the life and functionality of your bag. First of all, I have to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Vellostar, that make sewing kits, which is going to be really useful today. Vellostar makes sewing kits for life's unexpected minor challenges, and I love all three of the pieces that they sent me. So you're going to see them over the next few months, but this is the one that I'm going to be using today, and you can see it is well stocked. And I'm going to be using some of this kit for the hand fastening of the lining to the bag. Now you can get 20% off all of these kits, and I'm going to link to it below. I'm going to show you here the different kits that are available. And like I said, you'll see them over the next couple months. But what I love about this is everything is together in a zip bag, and I can literally just keep it tucked away and pull it out when I need it. And I have everything I need to make little changes, use when you need it, and then tuck away again, and everything stays together because I am not a neat person and nothing ever stays together. So I'm going to be using this today for attaching the lining to the bag. Do head over and have a look because they're already very well priced, and 20% off is a really great deal. Okay, so we're gonna line this bag. Now, as you can see, this stretches a lot. And even if I just put my phone in there, it's just not functional because of the stretch. And that's a difference a little bit with a knit bag to a crochet bag. Crochet is more dense. You might not find it as much, but in this case, it's very stretchy. So that's fine, we're just gonna add a lining. So to do that lining, the first thing I did was I created a template. And the template was created simply by taping together a few pages of scrap paper that I had lying around from other patterns that I had cut out. And then I just put the bag right on top, like this. And I made sure that it was nice and flat, that everything was lined up. And then I just traced around the basic shape of this bag. And then I cut it out, and I wrote right on it, so I don't forget, add seam allowance, because I was not adding the seam allowance as I was tracing. And then I cut two of these and I sewed them together on my machine. Now in this case, I actually used French seams so that the inner seams would be, the raw edges would be enclosed, and I don't have to worry about it fraying. That said, you don't have to do that. You could pink the edges, you could serge the edges. If it's a fabric that you're not worried it's going to fray, then you don't even have to worry about it. But I would say use something that has a pretty good density. You don't want it to accidentally shred or come apart. You want it to be a little bit tough. So maybe quilting cotton, or maybe a heavy, mid to weight, heavyweight linen. In this case, I wanted something that went with the bag so that when you saw it through the holes, it didn't pull focus. I wanted it to be quite neutral, but you could certainly do something pretty on the inside. You could do a pattern, a floral, that would also be really nice. So once you get this all sewn up, you're ready to start lining. So I want to start by getting all my materials ready. So I've got my sewing kit open. In this case, I'm actually going to use, now there are a nice set of regular sewing needles in here in many sizes, but in this case, I'm actually going to use one of the darning needles because this is a very thick material and I don't need it to be really, really fine. So I'm going to use one of these. So I need that. I also need some pins, and I'm also going to use my little scissors to make sure that everything is well trimmed up. Now in terms of color, I've got lots of options here. Let's see which is closest. I would say is this one. Yeah, that's good. And that's also really close to the color of my muslin. So I'm going to pull that out, put that to side. And like I said, I just want to trim up these little edges that have started to fray, just get those taken care of. Okay, so next step now is to pin the bag lining into the bag itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put wrong sides together. So this is the side that I want facing inside the bag, and this is the side that I want facing away from the public, the non-public side. And that might not matter to you depending on how you finished your lining, but if so, be aware that when we do this, you want to open the bag and see the fabric that you're looking to see, okay? Now, the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull this open. I'm gonna start on the bottom. So I'm gonna fold back this edge, and then I'm gonna fold the top edge. And then this little bit here, that corner that's in here, I'm gonna tuck that little corner in and under, so that I have a nice corner, and that corner has no raw edge sticking out. And I'm going to put this right at the edge where I know that I want it. I want to leave one row of stitches on the outside, and I want it to tuck just under here where I've seamed up the handle to match the other handle. So let's put this here and make sure that it's going right down that edge. Let's turn this around to make sure it's straight, more or less. Okay, and actually I've changed my mind. I'm actually not going to use the darning needle because I forgot that I have 2 layers of muslin to go through. So I am going to put these away, and I'm going to choose one of these needles. I love these little needle threaders that come in the kits because they just make my life so much easier. I don't have to fiddle and wet the needle or wet the thread. It's just so much easier. There we go. And now I'm going to do it double threaded so that we have a nice strong double thread for our bag lining. There we go. And I'm going to do a double knot. 1, and then I make a loop, pull it through, 2. Okay. So now we've got the corner here. I'm going to start at the corner and work my way across. Oops. I might even put this just even a little closer up so it's right under that line. Perfect. And so to do that, I'm going to go in behind the fabric and come out on top. And then when I do that, my knot, it's automatically going to tuck in behind the fabric there. And now just to start, I'm going to take 2 or 3 stitches near this edge, not exactly on it, but near it, because I always feel if anything is going to fall apart, it's going to fall apart at the corners or at the outside edges. So I want to make sure those are extra strong. There we go. Get that out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a chunk from the bag, come through, and then a chunk at the fold line of the lining, like that. A good chunk from the bag and then a chunk from the fold of the lining. And I am going to pull quite tight because I do want this to be really solid. I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll see you at the corner. This corner, I'm going to take another chunk and one more, so that that corner is solidly in place. And then work my way down this side. So when I reach a corner, I'm just going to flip it under, just like the last time. I've started a new thread here. So again, I'm going to come underneath in order to tuck in that tail. And start to come around that corner. I like to try to make sure that the corner of the lining is pretty much in line with the corner of the bag. It doesn't have to be 100%, but the closer you can get it, the nicer it's going to look on the finished product. I like to get a good chunk from the bag because it's less dense than the woven fabric. And so you can see here how we're going. We've got a nice edge, no open edges. Everything's tucked in and neat. It's very clean on the edge. You really can't see it. And then you can't see it at all from the right side. So I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to pin this side exactly the same, and I'll see you at the other end. Okay, so we're at the very end. I've got my last few stitches to go. And so I'm going to continue going across. And now I'm going to take again a little chunk. Now to finish a knot, I like to just grab a little bit of this last stitch, loop around twice, and then pull. There we go. Sometimes you have to work it a little bit to get it right up to the edge. And now again, we want to hide this stitch. So I'm going to go in to the lining here and poke out a little further over, pull this all the way. If you snip closely like that and give it a little massage, this is like kind of a quilting trick, you bury that end. And there you go, that end is now going to just flick back in there and you won't even see it. And so here we go, we're fully lined. All the edges and the corners inside is beautiful, and outside you can't see the stitch line at all. It's all hidden on the inside. Voila. Yeah, so that's it. Bag done, beautiful lining, nice and clean, all finished edges. It's gonna last forever. I'm gonna use it a ton this summer, I have no doubt. Again, I wanna thank the sponsor of this video, Vellostar. Head over, use my coupon and so on 20, or use the link and you'll get 20% off any of their sewing kits. Okay guys, that's all for me. I'll be back very soon, but until then, I hope that wherever you are, the sun is shining and you are knitting or sewing or doing whatever makes your crafty heart happy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.